Hello all, this is The Wet Basement, the first inaugural video just to document my tanks. Reason I'm doing this is just to keep track of things because I like to watch how things progress over time, but also because I really enjoy looking at other people's fish rooms and figured someone else might enjoy that as well. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of the tanks that I have today, and I hope to give more in-depth footage of individual tanks at a later date. So this is my 125. It's a mixed Malawi Tanganyikan tank, and also has 4 giant Danios which were added as ditherfish and just keep on living. Tank's been up for a couple years. Really enjoy it. It hasn't been a lot of work since it's gotten established. I have had to move some fish because of aggression around, but just a couple of the fish in there. So this is my Alanakara Stuart Grantii Malari, I don't know how you say it, island. And we have a Z-Rock right there. Another Z-Rock. There's a female redfin boreali, a couple of red empress. So it's a pretty cool tank. Pretty cool tank. Next tank I want to show is in some transition. This is a rainbow community tank. I have some plecos out of Sinkless, but predominantly adult rainbows. I have my parent Melanotania debulii Snapper Creek I got from Gary Williams, or Gary Lang, I'm sorry, and some Bozemanii, Glossolepsis, Pseudoincisus, which are those two there, the yellowish fish and the red fish, which I have some fry that I'll be showing later. I tore this tank down and then redid it, got a lot of melt back and a lot of algae in it, so hopefully that gets better over the next month or two. I have a huge female longfin bristlenose chocolate pleco there, and she's bred multiple times. I currently am trying to breed her with a male super red shortfin, which is in here somewhere, but they haven't bred yet. Next tank is my breeding pair of koi angelfish. And they've bred multiple times. I don't know where the other one is. Oh, he's over there. Bred multiple times. I haven't quite figured out how to get the fry raised because I get so much fungus with them, but I currently have wigglers in this setup, and so hopefully I finally figured it out because I had no eggs fungus up on this last time with what I used, and if this works and I get healthy fry, I'll share how I kept them from fungusing. I got this pair from Angels Plus when they were much smaller as individuals, and they paired up. Well, there's that's a 20 high. And then I have 240 breeders here. These are both Tanganyikan tanks. This is a grow-out tank. I have 5 Cyprichromis leptosoma blue flash fry. The 2 females in this tank delivered in separate batches, one of 3 and the other of 2, and then I have some grow-out Julidachromis transcriptus gambi, and there's some I'm blanking on the genus, but it's Nigropenis catfish from Lake Tanganyika in there too, but they never come out unless you feed them. So that's sort of a grow-out tank, and then this is my other 40 breeder, which is a Tanganyikan tank, which has some Richardi Neolampologus burchardi, the male blue flash, Cyprichromis leptosoma, which are the real blue fish and are really beautiful when they're flashing. There's a, I forget the name of it, there's a goby-like fish there in the background you can see, and then I have Similis shell dwellers in here. I only have one breeding pair of the shellies, which are right there, and you can see the fry a little bit. Oh, they scared them back in. They had their first set of fry. There were only 3 of them, but they've been growing out well. That's the male and the female being the smaller one. And you can see the fry there by the shell. So those are getting larger, and they're a joy to watch, but they really move the sand around. So as you can see, it's hard to get plants to grow and so forth in there. It's a cool tank. And then my last tank in this room, let me turn this off, is a 10-gallon, which is a cherry red shrimp tank with Pseudomugil gertrudii school in there, which are dwarf rainbows and are pretty cool fish. You can't really see them real well with this lighting. The males get a really beautiful finish display when they're happy. Ooh, that one might be. There's a male there that was starting to do it, but he's not doing it anymore. So now I'll take you into my other room. This is a 29 high, which I have a group of 8 stirred by. They're not the perfect match of male and female, but I'm trying to get them to breed, and I've had no success to date. I'm shifting the water parameters around a little bit. And then I have some large mystery snails that have bred and made lots of little mystery snails, which can be good, but it also can be a mess. Let me show you what, that's their eggs, which are kind of dripping babies into the water. And they lay those up on the, above the water, and it takes about 3 weeks for them to start hatching. But there's that tank, which I really enjoy. This is the fry from the Melanitania dubulii Snapper Creek parents, which are in the other room that I've grown out here, and they're cool fish. You can't, the lighting's poor, so you can't see their colors very well, but it's a good fish. I've got some longfin bristlenose in there, and some Siamese algae eaters as well. That's a 55. This is one of my favorite tanks, although of course it's not showing anything right now. Let me turn this light on. So I have Pseudomugil furcatus, the fork-tailed rainbow fish, and they are beautiful fish. The males are the more colorful. I think I have about 14 in here. They have not, to my knowledge, bred, although they look like they're, or at least I don't have any fry from them. They look like they're breeding a lot, but I don't have any fry as of yet. There's also red cherry and some blue dream shrimp in there hidden. That's a cool tank. This is a overgrown orange shrimp, Neocardinia shrimp tank. I got to get the duckweed out of there, but you can see some of the shrimp there on the plants and on the ground, and lots of guppy grass and duckweed in this tank. These 2 tanks are 75 gallons. I have a bunch of mixed fish in here. Melitania praecox, the dwarf rainbow fish, which are the red-finned silverfish. I have some platies, which are breeding like crazy, the orangish fish. Some tetras. I forget the name of them. They have the red tails and they're sort of whitish in front. Some plecos. I have a rubber lip pleco in here I haven't seen in like a year. I have some electric blue acaras there that are growing out. In this tank I'm trying to get matured a little bit and get rid of the algae and stuff, but it's been, there's a female bedi out here. Kind of a long process. Have some peacock gudgeons in there, I'm not sure where they are now. There's one down in the corner. And there's actually orange laser quarries in here that I haven't seen in a year, probably. This tank is just kind of a quarantine holding tank for some of my Malawi cichlids. I have basically about 6 yellow labs and 3 Cytochira morii in there. The morii were getting beat up in the other tank by a fish I'll show you in a minute. And they're healing up, and I'm just trying to get them healthy. And I just had too many yellow labs in the other tank because they keep breeding, and although most of them get eaten, some live, and I'm accumulating them. And then my last set of tanks, this is a group of 410s. The first 10 gallon is holds about an inch long, I don't know, 20 yellow labs, which I'm hopefully going to sell or give away over the next few weeks. This tank has Hebrosus pygmy quarries, which I've been trying to breed. Ooh, there's an egg. I think we have eggs. A couple, not many. There's a couple on the top there. Oh, you can't see it. There's one. See it? So that's first time in a while. When I pulled them before, they've fungused, and I have a lot of whitish kind of fungus stuff on the wood that just has been persisting. So we'll see. I'll probably, if I have a few eggs, pull them and see if I can get them to hatch. But there's the quarries. They're pretty cool. I have, I think, 3 females and maybe 5 males. This is my pair of Apistogramma cocytoides. The male's on the right, female on the left. And then they have a bunch of fry. There were 40 here, I think, or something. I didn't count them, but it looked like 40. And so they've, as they matured, they used to all be together. Now they're kind of getting all over the place. But they're growing pretty fast. I think they're about 10 days free swimming. And pretty cool tank. I have it in with a bunch of hornwort. These are the rams that bred, and they were breeding in a small flower pot, which I pulled and put in that plastic container. I have 2 males and a female. That's one of the males and the female. The female on the right. They're beautiful fish, and they've done really well in here. And then I have 320 longs here. These are Glossolepis pseudoincissus fry with the big red rainbow fish I showed you in the other room. And there's a couple of them just starting to turn red, but basically the males don't turn red till later, so it's hard to know what's what. I mean, theoretically these could all be females, but I suspect based on how they look, there's at least 3 or 4 males in here. And they're maybe 1.5 to 2 inches, but they are so slow to grow, it's unbelievable. Thanks for watching. We call this wet basement because I'm constantly trying to dry up the mess. Good night.